How can you study smarter by boosting the retention and recall of information that you are studying? Now, we learned from the German psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus that in just 1 hour's time, we forget about 70% of the information we have learned. And within 2 days, we forget close to 84% of the information we have studied. That's a huge chunk of information that we forget. And that happens when you are not revising the information actively, or when you are acquiring the information, you are learning that passively. Imagine that you are learning in the class and you are just looking at the teacher and professor and you are daydreaming, or when you are reading a textbook like you are falling asleep or thinking about the computer game or your boyfriend or girlfriend, right? That's hard for you to retain the information because the brain at that time is drifting off. And so let me share with you a quick formula, and this is the formula I came up with. It's called ATM. It's almost like you want to go to the bank ATM and retrieve the information that you have studied. Well, how does it work? ATM is an acronym. The first is A, stands for active. When you are learning something or when you're revising your information, you've got to be active. Like in class, if you don't understand something, you've got to ask questions. Or in your mind, you've got to be thinking, what is the teacher getting at? And what is the teacher going to talk about next? Or when you're revising the information, you can speak out loud or read something out loud so you can build auditory memory, or you can teach the information to your friends. How about preparing a PowerPoint presentation for you to revise? How about making a recording of the information that you can listen to? And how about studying with your friends so you can have productive discussion and positive interaction so you can digest the information? The key is to be active. You can make mind map, you can make flashcards, you get the point, right? The second component is T. That stands for time. That means how often should you revise? Here's the tip that I have for you based on research. As you are studying something, you should revise the key points, if possible, in 1 hour's time. Now, if not possible, then in 1 day's time, in 1 week's time, also 1 month's time. This is really crucial for you. If you have a big exam in the term or in the year, like end of year exam, you should start revising at least 1 month beforehand. If you have a major exam coming up like O-level exam, A-level exam, IGCSE or IB, you should be revising at least 3 months in advance, because you can use this revision with rhythm in 1 day's time, 1 week's time, 1 month's time, and 3 months' time. When I talk about revision, I'm talking about revising only the key points, not everything, okay? Last one. I want to talk about the M, that is motivation. Now, there's such thing called motivated forgetting. That means you are actually motivating yourself to forget. What do I mean by that? It's like, I know I'm going to forget this even before you give your speech, or I know I'm going to forget my speech. Or you are studying something, or on the exam, you say, I'm going to forget that. Well, you just motivated yourself to forget. That is not wise. Instead, when you study, you need to study with positive motivation. That means you need to understand why you're studying, okay? So keep that wonderful reason in mind. You don't need too many reasons, okay? Good reasons to study. You need maybe 1 or 2 powerful reasons to study. But most students have 101 excuses for not doing their best. So avoid that mistake. Another thing I want to highlight is you've got to study with positive emotions. And even when something is boring, you've got to make it interesting. If your teacher is boring, well, then your job is how you can make the class, your study or learning more interesting. The responsibility rests on you. Remember that, because if you go to the class and you say, I hate this teacher, that is not going to help you. It will only hurt you and your results. So please go ahead, try out the ATM formula. So next time when you go to the ATM, the mental ATM, you'll be able to retrieve the information you have studied.